Hi, everyone. My name is Kasia, and I'm working at Noble 9 as both software engineer and engineering manager. At my everyday work, I really like to adopt good practices to make lives easier. I would like to walk you through the statement that SLOs are actually not only for SREs. We will talk about what and why our SLOs are good in SRE world, how they can be used elsewhere and by others, and how to achieve that. So, for SREs, SLOs are a tool that helps tracking reliability of services. They are used for specifying the right targets and help find a balance between risk of unavailability with the goals of innovation and efficient service operation, so users' overall happiness. Here are a few statements about SLO's characteristics, which I think we can all agree with. We saw this in action, we know it's working, so let's focus on a few things in those definitions. A safeguard helps to determine something, key to making data-driven decisions. Wait a minute, does it only relate to reliability in SRE? It sounds more like a tool that helps in everyday work and helps in achieving goals. So if we think about it that way, we can realize that it can also be used elsewhere. And by elsewhere, I mean by other teams. For me, it's like with a Scrum. It's a methodology used for developing software, and all its ceremonies are designed for Scrum teams in their daily work. And it's working well, as nowadays most of the dev teams are working that way. And we hear that people are doing retrospectives in their families to communicate better. There is a tool, it's working, so why not use its concepts in different areas? The same applies to SLOs. We can see it's actually helping the SREs teams. It's helping to stay on track with reliability goals. It's helping different teams such as product, business to seek the balance between innovation and stability of the product. So it's working. Why not use it in dev teams as well? Software lives and changes, and we need to take care of its objectives. And if we think about it, it's actually the dev teams that have the biggest impact on it. Those teams monitor and ensure there is no regression when adding new features. Basically, everything that is introduced to the software should meet its objectives and requirements. So, just like tests are checking and assuring our code is working correctly, SLOs can help monitor and check if our changes, and as a consequence of that, our software meets the objectives and is in a good condition. Test gives us confidence, and SLOs can give us that confidence as well. If we are heading in the right direction, improving our product, or at least not introducing regression. Let's think about an example. We have an SLO to monitor the latency. We have the data. We know what is our desired level that makes our customers happy when using our application. We'll be working on a feature that could affect performance of our application. What we can do? We can use our SLO to monitor it carefully and check whether after we add this new functionality, we will still meet our objectives or make a decision to adjust those objectives. See? Another concept that should be, and I really think more and more often really is, adjusted from SRE culture, is focusing on good enough. When we think about it, it's super important concepts that brings common sense and a realistic approach to our thinking. Is doing something perfectly gives us that much advantages compared with the effort we put into it? Just like the reliability question, is being 100% reliable what really matters? Well, probably not. And this is another question which SLOs can help us answer. So what should be the target? One of the key concepts when it comes to working with SLOs is that our targets and assumptions are not set in stone. We should iterate over it, observe, change, and find the right target. And by that, I mean when good is good enough. Going back to dev teams, this is also a statement that will make their job easier and help them gain more. Let's think of an example. Test code coverage can be a metric that is used by devs. Does striving for 100% code coverage gives our software and the team the most benefits? Again, probably not. So we can put an SLO on a code coverage and set some targets and observe it. If we add more code and more tests, which target level gives us confidence? So reasonable amount of bugs is introduced, delivery time is optimal. We actually see those profits of having code coverage and gains versus time spent on it are balanced. So SLO can help dev teams not to guess that, but strive for balance based on a real data. Dev teams can say, we need more time for addressing tech debt. Product team can say, but we want more new features. QA team can say, and we want to keep high quality. Business, but don't slow down with those new features. Following our thinking of using SLOs as a tool, it can be beneficial to have an efficient dialogue between those teams. For example, we can define an SLO to track teams' commitment over sprints and analyze it, taking into consideration introduced bugs and or tracking maintenance tasks versus features and adjusting the targets here to find the balance between new features stability and tech improvement of our software. In theory, it's easy, right? But how to achieve all of this? By making SLO your everyday work. When defining and working on requirements, think of SLOs. Think which one are worth observing more carefully. For example, the code coverage one discussed earlier, or the latency SLO when introducing a feature that may affect the performance. What is our goal and how can it be reflected in our SLOs? And how to make SLOs everyday work? It can be part of a DoD. It can be reflected in acceptance criteria of the tasks. Think about this approach. We write tests while writing code and treating it as an indicator if the features are working or not. We can think of SLOs the same way. If tests are not passing, something in our application is not working. Error budget of our SLO is burning. Again, something in our application is not working correctly. As a conclusion, I would like you to think outside the box and focus on taking tools or concept we have and adjusting it to our needs. Of course, it's nice to do something exactly by the book, but is it really? Everyday life and work can be tricky, so it's worth to anticipate the difficulties and use the tools we have to make our work easier. And I think SLOs are that kind of tool, which, when used wisely, can actually help us gain a lot. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.